In a time where biopics seem to run rampant throughout Hollywood, I would like to highlight a 1985 film produced by George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola's company, American Zoetrope. Mishima, Life in Four Chapters is a film written and directed by Paul Schrader. At the time, Schrader was pretty established with writing credits in Scorsese's Raging Bull and Taxi Driver, and directing credits in Blue Collar, American Gigolo, and the remake of Cat People. A prevalent theme running through most of his film's DNA is the strong working man with suppressed feelings, and to put it bluntly, assholes. I've watched a lot of his work, and I must agree with Schrader himself that this is his best directing. He claims that Taxi Driver is his best writing, but I have another opinion about that. For a film with the title A Life in Four Chapters, it's hard to pinpoint which act or step in the hero's journey the movie is at. It doesn't align with the slice-of-life films that we discussed, or even any of the large ensemble cast films like Nashville. Instead, Mishima is a character study, chronicling the final actions of Yukio's life, how he got to that point, and adapting his stories to connect to each point in his life. Mishima has a lot of nihilistic and self-destructive ideas for himself and for his country. It's hard to agree with him, but this film conveys his ideas in a straightforward way and lets the viewer figure out how to feel instead of telling them how they should feel, much like reading a book. For me, I saw how Yukio became romanticized with the idea of death, and Schrader's writings really bled through with it, and I saw hints of Travis Bickle and Jake LaMotta. But unlike those characters, I felt really empathetic towards this character, and when the finale comes, it's hard not to get emotional. He genuinely believed that dying young was an honor, and killed himself so he wouldn't suffer a life of settling. The emotional beats through the film aren't displayed through Yukio, but throughout the stories that he wrote. Golden Pavilion showcases his shyness, sexual exploration, and innocence of a young boy, while Yukio is also narrating about his actual younger years of not meeting his mother for over a decade and becoming sexually fascinated with the male body. This is part of the reason why it was actually banned and never released in Japan. Kyoko's house remains to be my favorite chapter, as it deals with a masochistic relationship that symbolizes Mishima's body issues, aging issues, and depression, all while following Yukio as an older man who wishes he blew up in a blaze of glory but instead is living a settled life. Runaway Horses is a culmination of fact and fiction, fantasy and reality, and it makes a powerful ending that hits you to the core. It is essentially everything leading up to the film in this one story, but also following along with the actual story. What sets this film aside is that Mishima lets us get personal with his characters instead of himself, which arguably makes him an easier character to empathize with because it's much like everyone else. We're obviously all putting masks on, it's nothing new, but Mishima lets us get into his psyche by following his own stories, and then Schrader allows us to see his character that he made by following it through these chapters. It's just so genius to me that this film exists. The great Roger Ebert once claimed that this is the most unconventional biopic that he's ever seen, and just one of the best in general. For a genre that often feels vanilla, looking back at this 1985 classic still feels refreshing. The set design, cinematography, and score are all marvels on their own, but when it comes together, I must agree with Roger Ebert and just admit that it is one of the greatest biopics of all time, if not the greatest. Thank you.